course. So what we're going to need today is the following things, okay? We're going to need our markers. It's the first thing you're going to need from your boxes. We're going to need your glue, okay? We're going to need your scissors like we always do. We always need the scissors, okay? And we're going to need your one piece of white paper. That's what we're going to need, okay? And we're going to need one piece of coloured card. Now, the coloured card can be any colour except red or pink, okay? So the coloured card feels different to the coloured paper. The coloured card is a bit thicker and it feels kind of like a birthday card, okay? And it won't be folded over. Some of your paper will be folded in some packs because I had big paper that needed to fit in. Other packs, it'll be the same size as your card, okay? So the card is harder and feels like a birthday card. And the paper feels a little bit lighter, okay? And we're going to need one piece of coloured paper, which will be folded over like this in some of your packs. And this one feels much lighter, and it doesn't matter what colour paper you use, okay? So I'm just going to go through all of that again, and then I'll show you what we're making today, okay? So we're going to need your markers. That's the first thing we're going to need. We're going to need your glue. That's number 2. We're going to need a scissors. That's the third thing you're going to need. We're going to need one piece of white paper, okay? One piece of coloured card, and not red and not pink, because we're going to need those in a few weeks' time. I bet that you know what week we'll be using the red and pink paper for. And one piece of coloured paper, any colour you like in the pack, okay? And just while you're getting those out, I'm going to show you what we're making today, all right? We're making these really cool secret compartment owls, okay? We're making these guys here, if you can see these, all right? And there's another couple that I've made. I'm going to show you. Here is kind of my manga version. Here he is. This is my manga version of my owl. And I've got another one here in purple. It's my favourite colour. And he's got different eyes as well. And what makes them secret compartment owls is on the top where their heads are, you can open this up in here and you can pop something you want to hide inside, okay? So you can hide it from your baby brother or your big brother or big sister, and you can hide some coins on it on a shelf or on your dressing table, and no one will know that it's hiding something. So that's what we're making today, okay? Are we all ready to get started? Give me a big thumbs up if you're ready to go. Yes, brilliant. Okay, let us get started. We're going to start firstly with our piece of paper, okay? So that's our lighter one. And we're going to fold it in half. And we're going to make a nice strong fold, a nice big strong fold like that, okay? A sharp fold is what I call it, okay? So when you open it up again, it has this lovely line down the center. And we're going to take our scissors and cut down that line down the middle, okay? So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm taking my scissors and I'm just going to cut down the center here, down that line that I made when I folded the paper, okay? And guys, take your time. I never say to rush or try to keep up with me. Take your time. If you're a bit slower than cutting than me, that's okay. I prefer that you don't chop one of your fingers off by accident, okay? So we folded our paper. We've opened it back up and we've cut down the center. So we have 2 pieces of paper left. All right. So what we're going to do is we're only going to use one of these pieces of paper. So I'm going to pop the other one back in the box for later. Okay. Or away to one side. And we're going to keep this one out. Okay. So I've got one piece of paper. All right. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. So the next thing we're going to do, what I like to do for all of the new people who are starting with us today is I like to make all of the little pieces first. And then we put them all together to add it up to our finished product like this. So we kind of make all the pieces like a jigsaw puzzle, and then we add them all together to make our finished products like this, okay? So we've got one extra person who just joined. I'm just going to quickly go through what we've done up to now, all right? Okay, here we go. Hi, you're okay? We'll just get started. I'm just going to go through what we did again, so don't worry, all right? So we're going to need our markers like this. We're going to need our glue. We're going to need our scissors. We're going to need one piece of coloured card, not red or not pink. And we're going to need one piece of white paper and one piece of coloured paper. And it doesn't matter what colour the coloured paper is. And when you've got that out, fold it in half and cut it down the centre. So that's you cut up now. Okay, and if you've got any questions, guys, everyone's muted when they come on the call. So if you've any questions, just unmute yourselves and ask the question, okay? Because I won't be able to see everybody all the time in the window. Okay, are we okay, Anna? And who is it? Who's waving at me that there? Aniv and Anna, are you okay?
Is this one supposed to be smaller than the card?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's grand. Right, so mute yourselves again there you have it. Brilliant, fabulous. But you only put people on mute because there's a lot of background noise from people's houses and it's easier to listen to one thing at a time. So that's cool. So we have one small piece of paper because we cut it in half. We have one piece of coloured card and we have one piece of white paper in front of us. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put all of these little pieces and make all the little pieces and then put everything together to make our secret compartment owls, okay? So we're going to put our paper to one side for the minute and we're going to move on to our card. And we're going to turn it this way, which is landscape wise. And we're going to fold it this way, all right? So we're going to fold it that way, which is slightly different to the way you folded the paper. Folding it over the long way, okay? Like that. And we're going to make a nice sharp fold in that again. And opening it up and cutting down that center line that we just made with our folding, okay? So I'm going to take my scissors again and I'm going to cut down that center. So we'll end up having 2 pieces of paper and 2 pieces of card when we're done. And as I was saying, guys, these don't have to be perfect. Just try to be as neat as you can, okay? It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. We're not robots. We don't make things perfect every single time, okay? So there's 2 pieces of card now and 2 pieces of paper. Now we only need 1 piece of card and 1 piece of paper, so you can pop the card and the paper that we're not using away for a minute over to one side so we're not getting confused, okay? Fantastic. So next, guys, we're going to need our glue and we're going to need the card that you just cut, okay? A long piece of card like this, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to roll our piece of card like this into a kind of tube that we would see like a toilet roll holder tube, okay? And if you can see through the tube, that's wide enough. So that's just to give you an idea of what size the tube needs to be, okay? All right. Okay, so when we've that done, what we're going to do is we're going to glue this together in a tube. Now I've got one rule about glue. Does Lynn want to tell everyone, unmute herself and tell everyone what my rule about glue is?
Don't be mean with the glue.
Don't be mean with the glue. That is my number 1 rule. Don't be mean with the glue. Lots and lots and lots of glue, okay? So we're going to take the tops off our glue and we're just going to put some glue on the end here. And you're probably going to need a good bit of glue, about this much. All right? Lots of glue. And how we know we've enough glue, or we've lots and lots of glue, is if it's shiny or you can see the glue, that's enough glue. Because glue is cheap, we can always get more glue. So look, you can kind of see it in the light there on that. You can see my glue. So that means there's enough glue. Are we all right, Callum and Padraig and Jane? Are we all right? Do we have a question?
I don't think we use the right paper.
That's okay. So you've got 1 piece, you need a card and paper. So if it's nice and stiff and it stands up on its own, then that is card, okay?
Sorry, Angela. Is it the largest piece of card or is it just an ordinary A4 size piece of card?
There's only 1 size card. All the card is A4. So the larger ones are paper, okay? But it's okay if you've used stuff by accident because there's spares of everything in the box. So don't worry, okay? So don't panic. Don't throw anything out, but don't panic, okay?
So we're supposed to use a piece of A4 card and half it and then half it again, is it? No.
So no, the A4 card, we're going to cut it in this shape here. We're going to cut it down the center lengthwise like this. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the paper you're going to cut in 2 pieces like this size, okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's no bother. All right, so now look, we've put glue on one end of our card and we're going to roll it into a tube like this. And don't worry guys, I'm going to go through all of this in one moment again, all right? Make sure you've got loads of glue on that piece of card because card needs even more glue than paper, okay? And we're going to just make sure that's really stuck on. Okay, very good. And if it's a little bit uneven at the top like mine, I'm just going to trim that off with my scissors, okay? But you don't have to do that if you don't want to, all right? So we're just going to recap what we've done there, guys, so nobody gets left behind while you're all gluing your tubes together. They look like, what is it, like a telescope? So while we're all doing that, what we've done is we've taken our paper, which in a lot of your packs will be bigger than your card, okay? And it's folded over in a lot of your packs. Some of them, they're A4 as well, because they ran out of paper everywhere in Cork City before I was posting all the stuff. And we've cut it in half like this. So there's two kind of rectangle shapes, okay? Our card, we've cut like this, so they're two long strips. And we've put glue on one end, and we've just rolled it into a tube, or like the inside of a toilet roll holder, and we've glued that together, okay? And that's where we are, all right? So what we're going to do next, just while everyone's catching up, and don't worry guys, if you're a little bit behind by the end of class, you can finish off. I just have to get everything done in 40 minutes. You guys don't have to get everything done in that time. We're going to take the cap from your glue. That's the next thing we're going to do. And we're going to take a a green marker is what I'm going to use. So it needs to be the same color as your paper. Okay. So there's lots of color greens that I have in here. I'm going to go with a nice dark green to draw on my green paper. So if you have pink paper, use a pink marker. If you have purple paper, use a purple marker. Do you understand? We good? Brilliant. Okay. What we're going to do then is we're going to just pop our paper down in front of us on our table. Now, if I do that, you can't see it. So I'm going to use the wall behind me here, okay? So I'm going to pop it up on the wall and pretend this is my table. I'm going to take the top of my glue, put it down in the corner like this, and I'm just going to draw around it in a circle, okay? Now I'm going to do it here and I'll show you closer to the camera in 1 second. Okay, like that. So I've just drawn around it in a circle like this. Okay, that's what I've done. All right. And I'm going to do that 4 or 5 times in a row down here. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to pop it down. It's much easier to do on a table. And the reason I do it close to the edge of the paper, guys, is if you draw in the middle and then you cut it out, you've hardly any paper left. But if you do it down the bottom and you cut that out, then you have all this left. Okay, because I love to reuse paper and not to waste anything. Because the more stuff we have left over, the more art we can do outside of class time as well, okay? So just letting you know that everything in the box, most things in the box, are allocated to a specific week of class, okay? So try not to use anything in the box unless I say, you know what you can use now? This stuff. Because there'll always be something left over that you can use during the week to make other things with, okay? Are you all right?
I have a question.
Yes.
I didn't really hear everything you said.
That's okay. So do you want me? We're just making these circles in the bottom of our paper. Have you got that far yet?
No.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the top of our glue, our little glue cap, and we're going to pop it down on our paper at the corner, and we're going to draw around it with the same colour as your paper marker, okay? And we're going to do that 4 or 5 times along the bottom.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Now, when you've that done, we're going to fold it over on itself like this, okay? Now, don't worry, guys. I'll go back over some stuff in a second. Don't panic, okay? Just for the people who are a little bit ahead, I'm going to continue on. Because when you fold it over like this, when you go to cut it out, you're actually cutting 2 circles out at a time. Okay, and that's a little trick that I have, okay? So what I've done is I've drawn around my cap for my glue 5 times on the bottom like that. And I fold the piece of paper over. And now I'm going to cut those out, all right? I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut around these circles. And at the end of that, I should have 10 circles of green, okay? And they're going to be my feathers for my lovely owl's chest, okay? So when I've cut one out, it actually cut two out. And again, guys, these do not have to be perfect circles, so don't worry if they're not, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, and nobody knows your design except you, because it's your design and your creation, all right? Is everyone okay? Very good. Excellent. And so we're just going to cut all of those out now. And then we should have at least 9 or 10 of these little circles for his chest, okay? And you can see that we've used all of these little circles for his chest like this down here, okay? Now we're going to decorate them in a minute, but we're just going to cut out all the pieces first. Okay. Very good. Excellent. And I'm just going to keep cutting. So I've cut 2 of my circles out at the moment. I'm going to cut out another one now, all right? Okay. I hope everyone's doing okay. You can give me a thumbs up if you're all right, and you can ask questions if you're not okay, all right? Loads of thumbs up, so we're good, we're good. We'll keep going. And you're cutting away like mad. I can see you all there. All over the country and in Scotland. We've people from Scotland today as well on Fridays, so that's great. So we're just going to cut around these circles. And I'm cutting out my 4th one now, okay? But you guys can take your time. Don't worry, okay? And I'm going to do my last one. Very good. And I'm cutting out my 5th one now, okay? So I have 5 of them. Now, because I folded my paper over, I actually have way more than 5. I've got 10 little circles, okay? I've got 10 of those little circles. And I've used my green paper, okay? So I'm going to put those to one side. So what I've done, guys, I'm just going to recap for those of you who are trying to catch up. I've used the cap of my glue. And I drew around the cap of my glue 5 times at the bottom of my paper. I folded my paper over like this and I cut them out. So when I cut 1 out, I actually cut 2 out, and that was a little trick that I have. And now this paper we can use during the week to make something else, because you're not going to need it today, okay? Now, for those of you who are ready to carry on, I'm going to show you the next part. For those of you who aren't, keep going with the cutting, and I'm going to take my white paper and the cap of my glue again, okay? And this time I'm going to use my black marker, all right? And I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to go down to the edge, down here, down to the corner, and I'm going to draw around my cap down here, okay? Now, these are for his eyes, and I actually only need to do 2, unless you want to give him loads of eyes, and that's cool if you do, but I'm only going to do 2 eyes. If you want, you can only give him 1 eye, and he can be a cyclops owl. It's up to you. It's your design, okay? So I'm going to do 2 for mine. I'm going to draw around it twice. And I'm going to cut those out as well, okay? So it's exactly the same thing as I've done with my feathers on my white paper. Now, a little trick for cutting stuff out of big pieces of paper is to cut it out roughly first, like this. Okay? Because then you don't have a big piece of paper to fiddle with. You only have a small piece of paper to fiddle with when you're cutting out from a smaller piece of paper. Okay, so I'm just going to cut these eyes out. And then we'll see how much of our owl pieces we have done, okay? Fantastic. Okay, so I'm just going to cut those out, cut around that. And I'm going to cut the second eye out then, okay? So I'm going to show you what we're doing. Very good. Cutting out. You're all cutting and drawing like mad there, so that's great. Okay, right. So just while you're catching up, I'm just going to recap. We've made our tube for the body, and we've put that to one side to dry. Okay, so we've got our tube, and that's going to be the body. We've cut out at least 9 of these, our little circles, to make the feathers on the belly of the owl. And we've made 2 eyes, or 1 or 3, however many you want to do, okay? So they're the pieces that we've done. Now, the other pieces that we're going to need for our owl are his beak and his wings, okay? If you can see his beak and his wings there, all right? So we're going to go back to your card, which is the same colour as your body for your owl, okay? It's your other long piece of card like this. And just at the side over here, I'm going to just draw a triangle, just a regular triangle. about maybe the same size as your thumbnail. Okay, it's about that size. Maybe a little bit bigger if you want. So I'm just going to draw a normal triangle, and that's going to be his beak. And look, mine's a bit buckety, but I don't mind. It's my design. I don't care. Okay, there we go. And underneath that, I'm going to draw an oval, which is like a squashed circle. I'll show you what I mean there. I'm going to do a big oval shape like that. Okay, and if you make a mistake while you're drawing it out like this, guys, or it makes it a little bit wobbly, you can always fix it when you cut it out. So don't worry about that stuff. Okay, so I've drawn a triangle, and I've drawn an oval shape, kind of a squashed circle. And what I'm going to do with that, I'm going to fold it over again, just like we did with the circles. So when I cut one of the wings out, I'll be cutting 2 out. And that's the fast way to do it, okay? So I'm going to just do that. I'm going to cut around the oval shape to make the wings. Like that. And you only need 1 beak, but if you want to cut out 2 triangles when it's folded over, you can do that in case you make a mistake or in case you want to give him spiky hair or whatever you like to do, okay? So I'm going to just cut out 1 of them, and that'll be my beak, okay? So I've got 1 triangle for his beak, all right? I've got 2 oval shapes for his wings. I've got 2 circles for his eyes, okay? I've actually got 10 of these circles, but I'm only going to need 9 for his belly. And I've got the tube for his body, okay? And when you have all of those pieces done, we'll be ready to start putting them all together. So the next thing we're going to do, and I know I'm probably going a bit quickly today, but that's okay, guys. You can catch up, don't worry, okay? I'm going to start decorating his feathers on his chest. And I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that I've done it this week, but it's up to you. I had somebody drawing W's on his feathers because his name was William, and he wanted all the feathers to say W. That was cool. I had somebody draw love hearts on theirs. It's whatever design you like to do, or you don't have to do any at all on his chest, on his feathers. It's up to you, okay? Now these ones, I just drew stripes on my orange paper, okay? On this one, I did kind of a crisscross pattern. I did stripes one way and then stripes another way. On this one, I did a mix of spots and stripes, okay, like that. And on this one, I just did big polka dots. That's what I did on this guy, okay? So that I did polka dots, I did stripes and polka dots, I did stripes on their own, and I did crisscross, okay? So what I'm going to do today, I think I'm going to do just stripes on their own again. I like this one, so I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to take my green spots like this, and I'm going to pop them down on what's left of my white paper. And the reason why I'm doing that is I don't want to destroy my table. And I don't want you guys to destroy your parents' tables or your couches or whatever you're leaning on either. So if you use the paper and pop it underneath when you're drawing, and if you go outside the lines by accident, you won't destroy a table. And I'll show you what I mean like this. And you can do it quick.
Question.
You do? Yeah, shoot.
Well, can you do it any color? Do you not have to do it around?
Exactly. You can do it any color you like. This is just my design. Okay?
Okay.
All right, you can do whatever you like. So that's what I've done now on mine. And you can see, look, I went outside the lines on my paper. So it's on the paper, making a cool design, not on my table. All right? And guys, you can do lots of different ones if you want. You can do 1 spot, 1 stripe, 1 check, 1 love heart, whatever you like. But I'm just going to get going now. If we get going, and we'll just quickly do our patterns on our feathers. And I'm dying to see what you guys come up with. Especially when you come up with your own designs. I love that. For those of you who are new, while we're decorating our feathers, we've got a thing called the virtual gallery, okay? And what that is when you're finished your artwork, your mums and dads can take photographs of it, and they can email it to me, or they can send it to me on Instagram. And our handle on Instagram is @chatty2, okay? And then if you keep an eye on it during the week, I pop up everything that people send me, all of their artwork, and you can see what other people have been up to. You can see your own artwork on Instagram, and it's really cool. And it means I get to see your designs. And sometimes I get a really good idea. Like I got this eye idea from one of my students on Tuesday. And I got the lovely crisscross pattern from a student on Wednesday as an idea. So I like to share ideas, and creativity is all about sharing ideas. Okay, so I like to see what people come up with. And I also, Anna and Niamh and Lynn know this, and David I'm sure knows this as well, that I love to show off to my friends, because my art students are better than their art students. So I like to go, haha, look how good my students are. So yeah, please, please, please send me your artwork. I can't wait to see it. So now guys, I'm on my 6th little feather here. And I'm pretty sure you guys are flying it. I'd say some of you are ahead of me. I'd say Lynn is flying it. Are you, Lynn? How many do you have done?
I only have 2 more left, and I've done 8.
Oh my God. Oh my God. She's flying. She's way ahead of me. I knew it. I knew by your face you were flying it. Okay, so I'm because I was talking. That's why I'm so slow. Okay, so I'll shut up now and I'll keep doing my artwork. So I keep going, and now I only have 2 left, so I kind of flew through the last ones there. And guys, you can always kind of go back and do these in a second as well. So don't worry if you wanted to spend a little bit more time on this. You can always stick the rest of it together and then come back and finish these off, okay? And actually, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do crisscross pattern on some of them today. And I'm going to do some stripey. So I'm going to do half of them crisscross and half of them striped. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go back and do some crisscross patterns. And then we're going to decorate our eyes. And then we'll be ready to just stick the whole lot together. Okay. We may run over time a little bit today, but that's okay because it's our first day. So don't worry. Okay. If you ever miss a class, I pop it up on our YouTube channel to watch. So if you have a lot of homework someday, maybe you won't miss out if you miss class, okay? Right, so I have half of mine done crisscross and half of mine done stripey, okay? So you can see that a little bit closer. And I am ready now to move on to the eyes, okay? I'm going to show you a few different ways to do the eyes. But again, like with everything else, guys, well done. I can see all the stripes and crisscross patterns. Well done, David. Well done, Lynn. It's perfect. Okay, I'm going to show you a few different ways to do the eyes. Are you okay, Julie? Do you have a question?
Yeah, I did my own kind of eyes.
Oh, wow. Oh, they're very cool. That's great. Yeah, fantastic. So I'm going to show you, just for those who want to see, I'm going to do these manga eyes. A manga is kind of a cartoon in Japan. And I'm going to do these European cartoon eyes. And I don't really need to show you how to do these eyes because they're just big black dots, okay? So just while you guys are finishing off your feathers and stuff, I'm going to show you how to do those kind of eyes. All right, so we've already cut out our eyes and we've drawn on them. So I'm just going to quickly do 2 here and I'm going to show you the difference between both of them, okay? So here we go. So those of you who like things like Pokemon and Digimon and Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll know what the manga eyes look like. They're these kind of ones, okay? So what we're going to do with that is we're just going to do a U from the top of our circle like this. U. And at the bottom, we're going to do a rainbow shape. Okay, so I'll show you there now. And someone yesterday actually pointed out that this kind of looks like a tennis ball now. Okay, so we're going to do a U from the top and a rainbow from the bottom. And we'll just colour in the middle black, all right? So I'm just going to do that really quickly. So that's just one kind of the eyes that I like to do. But again, guys, this is your design. I just give you ideas. That's what my job is, to just help you out and give you some ideas. You guys are the creative ones, all right? Okay, so that's my manga eye. Okay, and then if you want to do this other cartoon eye that I have here, all I did was I drew a C, a letter C, a big C, like this, in the middle of the eye. And then I drew a V, or the top of a triangle in the middle of it. Okay. All right. And then I coloured that in. Some of your mums and dads might recognise this shape and say it's like Pac-Man, but that's basically what it is. Okay. So what I did with this one, it did a U from the top and a rainbow at the bottom and coloured the middle part in. And with this one, I did the letter C with the V in the middle and I coloured that in. And they're just 2 different kinds of eyes that we've done. Okay, so I'm going to just do, what ones haven't I done a lot of? I'm going to do my, my European C's with my V's in the middle from my guide today, okay? I'm just going to quickly do that. So I have one done there now, okay? I'm going to draw a C like that and a V in the middle and colour that in as well, okay? So I'm going to do that. Fantastic. And I've got my two eyes done. Okay, so just while you're catching up, I'm going to go through all the pieces for our owls, and then I'm going to show you how to put all of them together, okay? Right, so I have the body of my owl in my tube. I have 9 or 10 circles that I've coloured in and decorated for the feathers on his chest. I've got 2 eyes ready to go. I have a triangle for his beak ready to go. And I have 2 wings, which are ovals, or squash circles, ready to stick on, okay? Now, are we ready to continue on? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to get going and start sticking stuff together. So I've got lots of thumbs. Brilliant, Julie, you keep going and keep going. Fantastic. Yeah, and you can catch up, don't worry. We can always finish the eyes and things in a minute, okay? We'll start sticking it together first, and you can always go back and finish the feathers or finish the eyes once everything's stuck together. So don't worry, okay? Right, I'm going to show you first how to make the secret compartment at the top of the owl, or his ears, okay? And I'm going to get you to put one finger here on the bit that joins it together, okay? And turn that to the side. So I have it at the side, okay? Brilliant. Now I'm going to get 2 fingers, and I'm just going to push the top of it in like this. Like that. Okay? And I'm going to do the same on the other side. And I'm going to show you how to do that in a second again, okay? Like that. All right, so we have the top of the tube. We've turned this bit to the side. And we're going to get our 2 fingers and just push the top of it in like that. And we'll do the same on the other side. Now you can see that it's not touching. So I'm going to do it again and push it in a little bit more. And the same on both sides. And I'm going to keep pushing it in until it's touching or overlapping. So if it's going over each other, that's okay too. Okay, and you can use both hands to do that. Okay, like that. So it ends up looking like this. All right, so I've got my 2 fingers and I've just pushed it in like that. Okay, and I've got my 2 fingers again and pushed it in the other side. And I keep going until it is touching at the top, okay? And it's never going to be super neat, but all of them are going to be completely different. So you can see this guy's a bit fatter than this guy, and this guy's a bit shorter than the other guy. So they're all a little bit different. So they all have their own little personalities, just like you guys, okay? So we have 20 odd people in this class, all with different personalities, just like our owls, okay? Now, once we've this done, fantastic, David, that's exactly what I mean. Yeah, wonderful, guys. Brilliant, Lynn, that's great. Well done, Callum, Padraig and Jane, you're working away. Some of you are done. Brilliant. Some of you are still working away. Let me have a look. Well done, Aisling. Brilliant. Well done, Lucy. I'd say you're miles ahead. Well done, girl. Okay, right. I'm going to show you what we're doing next. We're going to start sticking it all together. So the side that has the join on it, we're going to turn it around and do the plain side for his face and his body, okay? And I'm just going to start sticking on his feathers from the bottom. Now you can see that the feathers stick out a little bit below the bottom, and that's just because I want to make them 3D and push up the ends. You don't have to do that. You can just stick them on if you want, but if you want to make them 3D, we're just going to stick the tops of them on and just push up the bottoms like this to make the feathers kind of 3D or stick out at you, like, okay? So I'm just going to take my glue and I'm going to take one of my feathers, okay, guys? And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just take my feather and put it on the top of my glue and run it around. And why I'm doing that is for a couple of reasons. One reason, it's easier. And 2, it doesn't get glue on your table, okay? It just gets glue on the thing you're trying to stick on. And I'm just going to pop that on the front of my owl. And you can see that I've left a little bit of it hanging down the edge so I can push it up at the bottom to make it a bit more 3D. All right, you can see that. There we go. That's what I've done there. Okay, fantastic. And I'm just going to keep going along the edge like that. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3 on the bottom, 3 more above that, and 3 more on top of that. So they end up looking like this. Okay, you can see that? All right, very good. So I'm going to stick another one next to it like this. And I'm going to just stick up the bottom again like that. So I've got 2 on, and I'm going to do another one next to that. Okay. And rubbing it along the top of the glue. It's going to pop it on next to that again. All right. And we're just going to pull up the bottom like this. Make sure everything's stuck on, and I'm just going to make it a bit more 3D by bending up the bottom of it like that. Okay. So that's my first row done, and I'm going to do another row on top of that now. Okay, so I'm going to take my feather, rub it along the top of my glue, and I'm going to keep going until I have 3 rows done. But I'd say you guys are flying ahead of me already. Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to do my second row there now. I'm going to do another one. Loads and loads and loads of glue. That's my rule, so nothing needs to be stuck down a second time. Okay. And if you want to just pull up the bottom of all of the little feathers like this, just use your finger and pull it up. Just so it looks a bit more like feathers. You can if you like. It's just an extra level of difficulty on it, okay? And I'm going to keep going again. So I have my 2 layers almost done, my 2 rows of feathers. And then I'm going to stick on the rest, okay? So if you're done sticking on all your feathers, the next thing we're going to move on to is our beak, and our beak gets stuck in the middle of our middle feather on the top row. Okay, I have another row to go. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep going again, and I'm going to just keep going with my feathers. I have more to do. I'm going to stick another one on here, and I'm going to pull up the bottom as I go like this, just to make it more 3D. I'm on my second last one now, and I'm flying it. I think everyone's really busy sticking. I can see you all mad sticking. Okay, fantastic. All right. It's my second last one that I'm moving on to. And my last one, and then I'm going to do the beak next. All right. Very good. All righty. Very good. There we are. Now, so that is all of my feathers done. Well done, Julie. That's fantastic. Well done, guys. Okay, and I'm going to take my little triangle next, because that's his beak. And I'm going to do the same thing, pop it on top of my glue, and I'm going to glue it on halfway up from the little, so halfway down the triangle, I'm going to stick half of it onto the feathers and half of it onto the blue bit. And then the eyes are going to get stuck on. We're going to do exactly the same thing, guys. Just run it along the glue like that. And I'm going to pop that on. There we go. So I've stuck one on here like that. And I'm going to stick the other one on the other side. Like I said, guys, when you make all the pieces first, that's what takes the longest. And then when you put it all together, it doesn't take very long at all, like a jigsaw. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm going to stick him on here. I'm going to stick the 2 of them together. And that is my owl's face. You can see that? Okay, so I've got all of my 3 rows of feathers stuck on, my beak stuck on the middle, and then the eyes. And I'm going to stick on my wings. Now, there's a couple of ways you can stick on the wings. I've stuck mine on next, just down by his side. I've stuck mine up in the air like he's having a party. I've stuck one hand up in the air and one down because he's waving at you. But you can do anything you like. You can stick them straight out any way you like. All right. So I think I'm going to stick mine down to the side again. And I'm just going to glue one half of my wing, the top half, because I want some of it to stick out to the side. All right. And I'm just going to pop it on here. Just gluing it on here like this. And I just move it forward a little bit so I can see it and it really sticks out. And I'm going to stick on the other one on the other side as well. Okay, guys, here we go. Putting the glue on the top half of it. And I'm just going to stick that on to the other side, just underneath his eye. And I'm just going to bend it forward a little bit so they're next to his sides. Like a penguin has them down to the sides, okay? And that is my owl done, okay? And if you want to use the secret compartment in the top, you just open it up again, pop in some money or something you want to keep secret, and then you can tie it, cover it up again, and no one knows. It just looks like an ornament, okay? So I've done a good few this week. Here's my one I did today. Here's another one I did yesterday. Here's Wednesday's one, I think, or Tuesday. Wednesday's one? Yeah, Wednesday's one. Tuesday's one. And here is another one that I did at the weekend for practice, okay? Can you guys show me what you've done if you're finished? I'm going to just make this bigger here so I can see everybody's. Fantastic. Oh my goodness. Well done, Lynn. That's beautiful. The green kind of colour and the pinky purple. Niamh and Anna, both of theirs finished, I think. Well done. Aisling, you're flying it there. Well done, David's mad sticking. Well done, Aisling, the yellow and orange one. That's well done. That's beautiful. Well done.
Angela?
Yes, Lynn?
You know the 13th of February?
Yes.
And that's on a Saturday this year. That's when my birthday is.
Oh, right before Valentine's Day. Wonderful. Lucy, that's fab. I love the eyes. Nice big eyes like a real owl. Fantastic. How are we getting on, Mary, with yours? Well done, Aisling. That's brilliant.
My name is not actually Aisling. My name is Ava.
Oh, you're Ava and your mum is Aisling. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yo, Ava, I'm so sorry. So sorry. I get it right next week.
That's our fault.
That's okay. I'll get it right next week. Lucy, that's brilliant. Well done. David's still working. Callum, Podrick and Jane are still working, I think. Julie's still working. Lucy's shown me hers. Well done, guys. They look fantastic. I tell you what, get your mums and your dads or whoever it is. Well done, David. That's fabulous. My two favourite colours. Brilliant, Julie. That's wonderful. Fantastic. Mary, that's brilliant. Well done. And Niamh and Anna are both finished now. They're brilliant. Well done, guys. So get your mums and dads to take those photographs and send them to me in email or send them to my Instagram and I'll pop them up on our virtual gallery. And so everyone can see how brilliant they are. Okay, guys? Thank you so much and I'll see you next week. Bye.
I need to tell you something.
You want to show me something? Quick, show me something before you go.